All right, AJ. So today we're going to talk about a few common questions that we get from clients that we want to put a little deeper breakdown into it. So, first, when we talk about video marketing, obviously we're advocates of video marketing because we create and produce a lot of videos. Here's a question people always ask. Do you have to show your face in your videos? Like, what do you do if you're an introvert or you're shy or you're self-conscious of your voice?
So the beautiful thing about social media and technology today is you don't have to show your face. You don't have to use your voice. Literally, the only thing you need to do is come up with the messaging, and you really don't even have to do that because of AI. But there are so many solutions. For example, on TikTok, there are these voices that you can mask your voice with, or you can just write the transcript of whatever you want it to say, and it'll read it for you. So in today's world, if you're not comfortable being on video, if you don't want to show your face, if you don't want people to hear your voice, none of that is a barrier of entry into the video world. Really, all you have to do is know who you want to get in front of, what your message is going to be, and then just leverage technology to do it. Now, I will say this with a caveat. I think showing your face and being in front of the camera is something that, people view as a little bit more trustworthy and a little bit more proof that you are who you say you are. So there are benefits to it, but you don't have to do it.
So I think the biggest thing we want to talk about, and hold on, go ahead and pause it. We're gonna have to. Let me just. Can you see those?
And
Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Greg Marshall, and I'm with,
AJ Lewis, what's going on?
and we want to go ahead and share a couple quick questions that people ask us all the time, and we want to go in depth on what you should do about it. So number one, video marketing. Obviously, we're advocates of video marketing, and we really think that most businesses, if not all businesses, should use it, especially since social media is pushing it. The question we always get is, do I have to show my face on videos?
That's a great question. And the simple answer is no. With technology, there's so many options. You can use AI voices. You can go to an app like TikTok and just write in whatever you want it to say, and it'll speak it for you. And they have a ton of different voices that you can use. You can do strictly voiceovers where maybe you're the voice, but you're just saying whatever you want to say, and you're showing images of your business and of the service and all of those things. So in today's world, there's really no reason even if you're not comfortable showing your face, that you shouldn't be doing video marketing as part of your strategy. I will say one caveat though, showing your face does give a level of trust and comfort. So if you are open to it, we would always advise you to at least have yourself included when you can, but it's not a requirement to start jumping into video advertising and video marketing.
And why is why is video better than static posts? Like that's another question that I get often is, well, what's the point of video? Is it that much more effective than just putting up a picture?
It's funny because in like 2013, I remember reading an article that said by 2020, video was going to be 80% of internet usage by Intel or one of these companies. And I think the reason why video is so much more compelling than images is number one, it does more for our dopamine, right? For our hits of excitement, because video can change scenes every few seconds, which keeps our attention and keeps us engaged. Number two, I think video allows you to tell a story. Sometimes with a single image, yeah, an image can be worth 1,000 words, but sometimes it's only worth 2 words, right? Whereas with video, you can get those 1,000 words. You can paint a picture and show a clear view of why people should know you, like you, trust you, and do business with you. Whereas with images, it might be harder to capture all of that in just one still image. So yeah, video just allows you to tell your story more and get people more engaged.
One of the things I found with video marketing is it speeds up the sales cycle because you're building trust faster by them watching the videos and they start to feel like they know you. I find that it tends to make people make a buying decision quicker versus if you're just using static images or things that aren't necessarily engaging through video. It feels like it tends to make people take a little bit longer to make a buying decision just because they don't really know you, they don't know your vibe, they can't get a feel for what your business is. So I think video marketing is a fantastic way to separate yourself. The other thing too is most, especially if you're a local business, most businesses, the owners are either afraid or self-conscious to get on video. Therefore, you can gain a competitive advantage by doing the video marketing because your competitors won't want to do it, right? So the next question is, what should we say in the videos, right? That's often like, okay, if I'm ready to make a video, what do I say?
That's a great question. The easiest way to create solid videos that will attract the right people are to solve problems, right? So, for example, if I'm a chiropractor, I should write out a list of every single question that anybody has ever asked me or come to me for. So, how do I fix my back pain? How do I fix my knee pain? How do I fix my ankle pain? What's the problem with my shoulder? All of these different things that people are asking, and then just answer the questions, right? If you can give people value before you ask them to buy, before you ask them to schedule an appointment, you're putting money in the bank. And what I mean by that is you are investing something into them, which then in turn makes them want to invest something into you versus you just taking without giving anything back. So just write down all the problems, all the questions, give them tips, give them little guides, little things that maybe they didn't know because you're an expert in your field and they don't know anything about it. So think back to when you were a beginner and think of all those questions they have. And just like we're doing here, ask simple questions and answer them.
Well, I think too, here's a little tip that helped me when I first started doing video marketing. So believe it or not, although I do a lot of video now, when I first started, I was extremely self-conscious. Like I thought I'm just gonna look like a fool putting myself out there on video and people are gonna hate it. But what I ended up doing, and I found myself not posting the videos because I would watch them after and be overly self-critical. So a tip or a hack that I used is once I made the video, I didn't look at it. I just posted it. I just got in the habit of just post it, put it out there, and just get used to the fact of I have to push myself to get out there and make sure that this content's going out. And the crazy thing is, once I started doing that, I started getting some feedback, and people were like, "Hey, I really like the videos. Those are very helpful," which was a shocker to me at the time because I was convinced people were going to be like, "What are you doing? Making videos? You look silly," And those are the thoughts that you get if you're not used to making and creating videos. And so that's a little hack that I recommend, that if you're worried about how you look or how you sound or whatever, just make the video and put it out there and don't look at it. Trust me, you're more than likely doing a great job. But if you watch it, you're going to end up not posting it or putting it out there because you're going to be too critical. So what about the different types of social media posts? So like, do you use video in like a reel format? Do you use it just as a regular video format? Is YouTube better than Instagram or TikTok? I mean, what formats do we use?
And so when you're trying to consider what type of video formats you should use, what you want to do is be able to shoot once, use multiple times. And so what I mean by that is, the advantage of us shooting like this, right, in like the 16:9 aspect ratio or the horizontal, however people describe it. The benefit of this is that we can take this and we can crop it like this, and now we can use it for stories and for reels and all that good stuff. So that's the goal. Shoot once, use multiple times. And in terms of like technically what to do, you should absolutely be looking at what the platforms are rewarding. So what I mean by that is reels for both Facebook and Instagram are important. They're putting them as a top priority. So you should post your stuff in those formats because you're going to get more views. Same thing with YouTube. YouTube Shorts is a big push, big importance right now for YouTube. So you should be putting out your YouTube Shorts. But here's the thing. Those platforms only allow 60 to 90-second videos. So what you can do is shoot a longer form video like this, answering all these questions, cut out the little parts into reels, and then be able to direct people back to the long form video. So that way they can get that longer, more, in-depth explanations.
Well, you basically went into something that I've always preached even before reels and all that came about, which is repurposing your content. So using your content and then putting it on all the social media platforms so that you can get greater reach more people, but you're not actually doing any more work, right? You're still doing the the video one time and then just chopping it up and putting it on all the other platforms. And if you look at all the big influencers and people that have big followings, that's exactly what they're doing. Is they're just taking long form content, interviews or speeches that they've done or explanations of the products, and they just chop it up and put it on all the platforms. And what this does is it allows you to stay top of mind for your target audience so that they can consistently see you, so that they're like, oh, this is what they do. This is what they do. One of the fears that I've heard is, well, I don't want to post too much, or I don't want to do too much because I don't want to annoy my audience. And my response to that is, you're assuming that your audience is even really thinking about you, right? They're seeing so many pieces of content all day, every day from so many different people. They're not going to remember that one post. In fact, you probably could post the same post multiple times per week, and most people wouldn't even really notice that you did it because they're getting like inundated with reels and videos and posts and blog posts and all of that. And so don't get too caught up in like, I don't want to annoy my audience because I'm doing too much. In fact, you probably should do more. And that's something that we've also learned in our own journey is the more you put out there, the more opportunities you potentially have, the more chances for building relationship, the more chances you build relationship, the more sales you could potentially get.
Couldn't agree more.
So I think when it comes to creating videos, can you use advertising to push the videos more? Is there an advertising strategy to help accelerate the speed of how much your content's seen?
Yeah, you should absolutely implement advertising into your video strategy. And the reason for it is a couple things. Number one is that when you post organically, you can't control who sees it. So what that means is maybe you post and you get 5,000 views, but if all those views were in LA and you're in Idaho, it doesn't do you any good. Those people are never going to buy your product or service, right? So with that, advertising allows you to control who sees it, number one. But secondly, what it does is it allows you to identify people that are interested. So what I mean by that, let's say you're a chiropractor and you post a video that's about how to heal your lower back pain, right? 5 exercises you can do at home. Well, you post that video, say it's 90 seconds long. Well, if someone watched, 75, 80, 90% of that video, there's a high likelihood that they have that problem and they're trying to solve it for themselves. So now what you can do is take that audience, put them into what's called a retargeting audience. And now you can go to them with your direct offer. So you can say, hey, schedule your free consultation. Hey, schedule your free adjustment, whatever that thing is that you're offering. So you get people to raise their hand by watching a certain percentage of your video.
And one of the things that you're essentially building your own warm audience. And I kind of want to like end this video on something that we were talking about right before we started recording, which is one of our clients who's spent $2,000 and has got a return of $100,000 back, and which is actually the highest return we've ever seen from an individual campaign. Because that would be 54. I think it was a 54 return on ad spend. And one of the crazy things about it is he's targeting his warm audiences. So people that have watched his videos, people that have visited his website, people that like his Facebook page, people that have engaged with him over time. And what we found is when you have an audience and you're able to like warm them up, as you say, and get them to really like what you do and get familiar with what you do, that's where you get the biggest returns on your investment, because then those people have been nurtured for so long that they're willing and ready to go ahead and purchase, and you don't have to spend so much money to get them to buy because you're not doing straight up cold. And so I highly suggest that you focus on building content, especially using video, to develop your own warm audience, to then be able to have an opportunity to potentially get results like that. $2,000 for $100,000 in sales back, to me, is still unbelievable. And but that's the power of all these tools that are out there. If you use them right and you focus on the right practices and you have a little fun with it, you can make some serious money and get a return on investment based on just doing these practices.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people want to look at is the fact that every time you put something out, it's like you're putting a little investment right into your audience, into your business. And it may take a year to return, it may take a month, it may take 6 years, right? But if you keep doing it consistently, eventually that all that output is going to equal an input because it's impossible to every input equals an output, right? So it's impossible not to have that happen for your business. So the only thing you got to do is just start.
So yeah, you get a great compound effect. And over time, if you think long term, one of the things that a lot of our clients know me personally for saying to them is I would say the video you make today will make you money 12 months from now. So don't view what you do today as an immediate return tomorrow. View it as 12 months from now. But what you want to do is if you do that every day, you're literally building the foundation to make some serious money in the future. But it's just having that long-term approach, being patient, and being savvy with how you're doing it. And so I want to go ahead and end this little Q&A on some common questions. But if you guys ever need help, obviously go to fiture.marketing.com. So FITURE marketing.com. And once again, I'm Greg Marshall, and this is,
AJ Lewis.
and we'll go ahead and talk to you guys later.